this is not epoxied. I just come out here and finish the handle. This is Sunday, and I was going to epoxy, just finish this handle and epoxy it on. It's coming along so nice. But I did it again. Beautiful wood, right? Beautiful handle. Can you see what I did again? I did it again. I did the same thing that I did with this. Actually, yeah. I don't know why I'm doing it. So there's another piece of freaking wood I have ruined. I'm just beside myself at all the time I've put into this, and I keep screwing up. Otherwise, it would be just a beautiful handle. Beautiful. Oh well. Back to the freaking drawing board. God, it just makes me so mad. So, what next? It has to be a block. That's walnut. So freaking aggravated, I can't believe it. I'm so mad at myself for doing this twice. It's desert ironwood, but it's not big enough this way. Nice piece of ironwood though. This is Chechen burl. Maybe. This is my very expensive stuff. And I do plan on asking $330 for that, so if anything, it would justify the expensive stuff. This is maple burl. Much bigger is it than that? God, jeez, I tell you what. Now I'm concerned that I was really screwed up. This is another box elder burl. Isn't that a pretty piece of wood there? You know what? I'm going to use that. It does have some minor voids, but I don't think they're through and throughs. That's it. I'm going to do it. What the hell? I've got to, this was going to be my piece de resistance. And so far, it's a piece of crap. If you don't laugh, you cry. Yep. So today, I'm done. I'm just too freaking aggravated to do anymore. It's Sunday. And I just wasted all this time sanding that. Boy, oh boy, I can't believe it. And there's no way to save it either. You know, I was thinking, well, I'll have some sawdust and I'll put some sawdust on that epoxy, but there's no way I'm gonna, and you know what? I'm gonna throw it away just before I'm tempted to try and make use of it. Okay, good golly. Tomorrow's another day. See you tomorrow. still sitting here just fuming that I did something so stupid. And that wood was just absolutely freaking gorgeous wood, man. I just can't believe I wasted that beautiful piece of wood. Oh, I'm just sick. And I was thinking of all the ways that I could possibly, you know, do this less expensively. Because the wood, you know, the steel right now, steel for everybody is difficult, if not impossible to find. And much of the wood that I have, I've bought from Russia. And I don't dare spend any money. As a matter of fact, one of the guys who I've been buying wood from for quite a while, and he's a very nice guy. He's just like us, just a guy who works and feeds his family and has a little business processing stabilized wood for knife handles. He's a nice guy. His name is Oleg. But PayPal quit. You can't use PayPal. You can't use Western Union. That was the last way to pay him, was through Western Union. You can't use credit cards to pay him now. So there's no way to buy any wood from him. And then they're not allowing Russian ships into any of our ports. So there goes the mail. So now I can't even buy any of the wood that I typically buy from Russia. And there was 3 people that I bought from most often. There's only one, there's 2 places that I'll buy from here in the States. And I'm talking stabilized, processed, ready to use wood. And it's very, very expensive. I mean, at minimum, to get it to my house, it's $50 for a piece of wood. That blue piece of wood that I just got to the house was like, I don't know, $53 shipped. So I ruined a $50 piece of wood. And then I bought another $50 piece of wood. So I'm into the knife $100. A knife that I intend to only charge $180 for. So I got $100 worth of wood. I mean, it's nobody's fault but mine. I just spend $50 on a piece of wood. And then the price of the steel and the price of the sandpaper. And, you know, by the end of the day, I've made about $1 an hour, which I'm not complaining. This is a hobby. And now I'm into it so much that I'm actually losing money. So I got to figure out a way to buy wood cheaper. And I'm thinking that this knife that I'm working on right now, the one I just ruined the handle on, I do have some really nice walnut. It's not stabilized, but walnut does not need to be stabilized. It's a very hard wood. What I'm thinking of doing, instead of using that very expensive $70 piece of box elder burl, using a piece of walnut and putting true oil on the handle, because the blade is super shiny, the finger guard is super shiny, and true oil, I have found out how, finally, after all these years of using true oil, how to use true oil. It's multiple thin coats, and each coat is sanded down and steel wool. You know, you get the last 2 or 3 coats and you buff it with steel wool. Anyway, I can make the handle as shiny as the knife. So I'm going to think on it, but I may try to cut some of my expense and use some of that walnut that I've had for ages. Alrighty, I'm going to drink a little water here and lick my wounds. Yep, I'm still sitting in the same place, stewing on the same thing. And it's been 30 minutes since I hung up before. And I'm not going to use walnut. I'm going to use a nice piece of stabilized wood. I mean, I'm not trying to make folk art. I'm trying to make what I would call higher end collector quality knives. And I'm not going for the, you know, the lower folk art end of it, or even the bushcraft end of it, which I make usable bushcrafting knives also. You know, any of my knives that are satin finished. would be camping, bushcrafting, that kind of thing. But my high polish knives, I assume that only collectors would buy those, because if you go to using them, they're not going to be polished. They're going to get all scratched up. So you wouldn't want to pay for a polished finish if you planned on batoning them through wood. So I'm going to bite the bullet and use a expensive piece of wood. I have come to a couple of realizations, and there are some problems that I can't figure out a way around. One of them is cutting the slot in the handle for the tang. And then the other is shaping the handle, because you can't shape the handle on a hidden tang after it's epoxied to the knife, because you end up scratching the brass finger guard. And I just, for the life of me, can't figure out how to shape the handle and then put it on the knife. Because, anyway, there's two problems I haven't figured out a way to solve yet. Cutting the slot in the handle for the tang is difficult, time-consuming, and twice I have screwed up a piece of wood. So I've got to figure out a way to do better at getting the tang fitted into the wood. And then I've got to figure out how to finish the handle better before I epoxy it to the knife, because once it's on the knife, the handle is what it is. Because if you go to sanding on it more than just a little bit, you're going to end up scratching the brass finger guard.